butterfly on my head, I think. Oh my god. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm so excited to take you outside today and walk around the little new veggie garden that we planted last week. So everything I planted was in seedling form, so they've got a bit of a head start, and I do want to practice growing things from seed. But as we're super new to gardening, I thought, you know what, seedlings are great, so we'll give those a crack first, and then in the next few weeks I'm gonna be planting some seeds. So let's just go ahead and go outside, shall we? So I've named these garden beds 1, 2 and 3, and then I've written down in a little book everything I've planted, because I'm very likely to forget, because some of the seedlings look really similar. So I really recommend, especially if you're new with gardening. So I'm going to start with these guys over here. So these are heirloom dwarf snow peas, and these are my favorite. I think in my last video I was calling them sweet peas by accident, but no, they're actually dwarf snow peas. So I can't wait. So these are going to grow about 60 centimeters tall, so probably around here, and they're going to produce about 200 grams of snow peas per plant. I probably could have planted them further apart. I really just wanted to get these seedlings in the ground. I probably should have planted some things a little further apart. I don't think it's going to matter too much though, because they are going to grow upwards more than anything on this little trestle here. And according to the little tag, these will be ready to harvest in about 6 weeks. And moving on to this side of the trellis, so these ones here are the yellow French butterbean, and they'll get to about 45 centimeters in height, so about that high, and they'll be ready to harvest in about 2 months time. So a little wait on those, as with most of these veggies really, but the snow peas will be one of the first things I think we'll be able to harvest, and it's really exciting. I've already seen so much growth on everything, and little flowers are starting to form on, I think, pretty much everything that does flower, as you can see over here as well. So exciting. So it's really good to take the netting off during the day so the bees can enjoy the flowers and help to pollinate things if they need pollinating. I'm still figuring out which veggies need cross-pollinating. I'm not 100% sure on those facts. I need to look into that still. So these two here are heirloom mini sweet red capsicums. I've just got away with planting these here on the Gold Coast because we are considered subtropical. So they do prefer warm weather, even more so than tomatoes. They say you can plant them in February. I mean, it's March now, so I just got away with that. And they take around 15 weeks until we can harvest those ones. And those ones will get about 1/2 meter tall. And moving on to the one next to it. So do I have 1 or 2? Oh no, there's 2 here, as you can see. Although I'm a bit confused because I did try to separate these two because I thought they were a little bit too close together, and it kind of joins into one plant, if that makes sense. So I just thought, gosh, I'll just leave it like that, otherwise I probably would have ended up killing it, to be honest. And it's flowering as well there, so that's so exciting. This one is an heirloom as well. It's called Listada di Gandia. It's the purple and white stripy eggplant, and it's actually from Gandia, which is a region of Spain, and it grows about 3.5 kilos worth per plant. So hopefully they're classified as 2 individual plants, which I'm pretty sure they would be. These ones take about 3 months before we can start harvesting those ones. And these ones will get about 70 centimeters tall, so a little bit higher than the mini capsicums. So these two here in the middle are Italian Heirloom Tromboncino zucchini, and the fruits on those get up to about 1 meter long, if you can believe it, and it has kind of a bulb on the end, although they're best picked at about 25 centimeters long, and those ones take about 2 months until we can start harvesting. And apparently they throw out heaps of fruits on these ones, so we'll be harvesting these for hopefully a really long time. And they do like to grow up some trestles, so hopefully they can just grow up either side here on these little posts, and that will actually help to establish that bulbous shape, because if they grow vertical, obviously gravity helps with that. Hello Cora, she always wants cuddles. Something really funny with these ones, they're actually considered show vegetables, so you can actually put the veggies in shows, which is kind of hilarious. I love that. And then over in this corner we have some sweet basil, so we've got quite a fair bit of basil, and also over in that garden there's one over there as well. Did you know that basil is actually native to India? It's funny because we tend to associate basil with like Greece or Italy, the Mediterranean countries, but it actually went over to Europe in the ancient spice trading times, which is super interesting, I thought. So a quick little tip for basil. Apparently the best way to pick it is if you look underneath the leaves here, you'll see these other little leaves forming. Try and get a closer look there for you. There. So cutting it just above those little guys here, and then these ones will sprout into bigger leaves. Each basil plant can produce around 20 bunches of basil, which is a lot of pesto. Because it's so warm here, it can grow for around 9 months of the year, which is great. Now over to this guy here. So this is a mustard green, and it's called Big Red. These are actually in the cabbage family, but they're more like, I guess, like a lettuce leaf type situation, and they get really big leaves, hence the name. Got a bit of red happening there on the tops of the leaves already, so you can harvest these pretty much all the time. They're kind of ready to harvest as long as there's enough there. I'm just trying to let it grow a bit more, and the bigger the leaf, the more hot, I guess, the taste. So the smaller leaves will be more of like a mustardy, maybe horseradish flavor, and then the bigger leaves will just get hotter and hotter. So I'd like to try both and maybe have them in sandwiches, things like that, or even just popping them in some salad as well. So these are from the Himalaya region of India. The reason I got this one was because I did read about it in a anti-cancer book and how powerful it is and how healthy it is for us. And now onto the little flowers over here. I won't talk too much about these. Mainly I planted these for attracting the bees and also just supporting bees in general, because sometimes there's not enough flowers in the environment, not enough nature going around, and so planting flowers is really good to attract the bees, to support them, and to also encourage them to your garden for obviously pollinating your vegetables. So these ones here, they came in a really big pack actually. They're the French marigold. So there's a few different colours on the different plants. Over here we've got, you know, some beautiful red ones as well. And then over here we've got some orange ones. And even though they're called French marigold, they're actually not from France. They're from Mexico and Central America. Fun facts. As you can see, some of the flowers are starting to get a bit, how's it going? So I'll be deadheading some of those to encourage new growth on those shortly. Same with the zinnias. These need to go. So these are called Zinnia Profusion. Just like the marigold, they are from Mexico and Central America area. Although these variety are apparently a cross between two different zinnias. So they're quite small, I guess, compared to the other zinnias you can get. Very, very beautiful though. I've only got 2 of these. They were pretty expensive, but then I got really lucky and they actually came around and discounted them while I was at Bunnings, so that was really handy. I got them for about half price. And okay, that's garden bed number 1. Moving on to number 2 over here. So obviously there's the few flowers there. One of the marigolds actually kind of died. Just ignore Cora, she's very barky at the moment. So over here in the middle there is 2 of these vines, which are Heirloom mini Lebanese cucumbers. I think they're called mini munches. Oh, they're really fuzzy actually. I don't know if you could hear that. It was like a really fuzzy sound, like sandpaper. I think this one might be one of the first crops to harvest as well, as it's ready in about 4 weeks. So I don't see how. It must be just really fast growing. And I really prefer the Lebanese cucumbers over the longer varieties because these ones don't make me burp. So these ones will either spread out and like just go around the garden bed, or they can actually grow up trellis as well, which, I mean, if they like, they can grow up these as well, and apparently they produce better growing up something. And in this corner down here, hopefully I haven't planted them too close together. The little punnet of seedlings like came like this, so I just sort of planted them as they were. I'm not sure if I was meant to spread them out a bit more, but I think they'll be okay. So if you can guess, these are little baby beetroots, and you can actually eat the leaves as well. So much information about these guys. They're little superfoods actually. So on the back of that little tag, I'm just gonna read it. I have it with me here. So the leaves are ready to pick in 35 days, and then the actual beetroots themselves are ready to pick in around 2 months. And it's good for your heart. It can avoid birth defects, which I assume for pregnant women, which is great. Prevents colon cancer, good for liver function, prevents respiratory problems, boosts energy, prevents eye cataracts, and reduces the risk of strokes. So I think everyone should be eating beetroot. That's amazing. They're really, really quite epic benefits. So over to the tomato corner. I'll start with these ones first. I'll start for the smaller ones and we'll go up to the big one. So these 3 little seedlings here are, I guess, little miracle seedlings. Keelan's mum gave us heaps of her cherry tomatoes at the end of last year, and I squashed a couple up and I popped them in the base of the rosemary plant, and then yeah, they pretty much all sprouted. So I've taken the best and the healthiest ones and I've popped them in here, and I'm just going to see how they go. So these are like the red variety cherry tomato. I'm not sure of the name of those ones because they actually grew, I guess, wild in Keelan's mum's garden. And then this one here is perhaps the same variety as this one. I actually found it near the garden shed. It was growing out the back here, so I've just dug it up and planted it in here. So this is a mystery one. We'll see what happens with this one, but it's growing pretty well. And then onto the biggest one over here. This is the one that we purchased, and it will probably start to climb up this trellis pretty soon, hopefully. And this one is a medium-sized cherry tomato, and it's called Snow White. And it's actually a cross between a yellow cherry tomato and a white cherry tomato. Even though it's like classified as a white tomato, when it's like fully ripe, it's more of like a pale yellow. Thought it was something a bit different. And these Snow White tomatoes should be ready to harvest in about 2 months. And this one in the corner here is another variety. Oh my god, I've just seen a flower. This is an exciting moment. This is the first... Sorry, I'll continue saying what I was saying in a minute, but I've just seen the first flower of all of the vegetables. And here it is. I'm going to try and be so gentle. Oh my god, there it is. Isn't that beautiful? So this is a candy cane capsicum, and that will be ready to harvest in about 4 weeks. I guess you can tell by the name of it. It's going to have these really quirky stripes on it. And I think they have various different colours as well, reds and greens, so it'll be really interesting to see how that grows. The candy cane capsicum and also the snow white tomato, I'm not sure if I would get these again, because I've only just realised that these aren't heirloom. I thought they were heirloom because of the interesting colours. Turns out they are actually hybrids, and yeah, they're quite, you know, quirky colours, but they're not the best for seed saving. So heirloom vegetables are much more suited to seed saving. I was just reading about this today actually. It's all a learning progress, and that's fine. But these ones, if you seed save these sort of hybrid varieties, they're not guaranteed to be as good, so they might not yield as much, and it just might not be really worth the effort of saving the seeds. And moving over here, we have quite a lot of these heirloom rainbow chard or rainbow silver beet. I maybe planted them a little too close together, but I think they'll be okay. And you can see there's the different colours already. There's yellow, there's some pink, there's some orange, and there's white ones as well. So I'm really excited about these. And you can eat the little leaves. Obviously they get much bigger. They get about 1/2 metre high. And I'm going to be making a lot of spinach and feta tarts. I absolutely love them, which is essentially just like a spinach and feta quiche or frittata. Love them. So these are going to come in handy. Really good for freezing as well. Hey Cora. And down here, it looks like Cora's been nibbling on some of these. So this is mini cos lettuce, and I think it's also called Little Gem. And these guys are growing really quickly actually. You can see in the center there's constantly new little leaves coming out. So these will be really good to mix with the other varieties of fresh greens, because I do have some, like the mustard greens obviously would be nice to mix with a more mild lettuce as well, just so it's not so insane in the salad. Basically you can harvest these right away, but I'm going to wait till they're bigger. I'm not going to harvest the entire thing at a time, I don't think. I'm just going to sort of take the outer leaves as we need them and just try and keep it growing until it stops growing. But if I did want to harvest these at full size, it would take about 2 months for them to get fully mature. And then over here we have wasabi salad. I think it's also called wasabina, and it's another mustard green, and it has a similar taste to wasabi apparently. I'm thinking it might be nice actually rolled into sushi. I'm going to be chopping up the soil. You can see that it's come down quite a bit there. And I'm also going to pop some pea straw mulch on the top, and that'll just help to retain the moisture and look after these seedlings. So it's actually the next day. I stopped filming yesterday because it was getting a bit dark, and it also started raining. So we're gonna go ahead and get those few things done, top up the soil, the mulch, and just all around see how these little seedling legends are going. And I've got my trusty little Cora with me as well. There's a butterfly on my head, I think. Oh my god.
Is there really?
Is there actually a butterfly on my head? The things that happen, hey, in the garden. Magical. Can you see that, guys? Must like my shampoo or something. Thanks so much for joining me in the garden. As always, give me a like if you've enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you really soon in my next video.